Because what I am saying on Abumanyamini, our people are lame. They are weak. I am struggling to count how many men there are in Bafra land. There are no more men left. Weak, docile, and imbecilic. Weak. I don't know how we can take such people to war. I don't know how we can take men who are not men into battle and win. I am ashamed. Very, very ashamed. Nonetheless, we must preach this very gospel because man did not ask us to come. Chukwu Abiyama in heaven mandated that we should come. If not, that I was called to do this very work, I will not speak to any of you anymore. But Chukwu Abiyama said this very gospel must be preached, and we must preach it. I have prayed since yesterday up until now. My request is very simple. The same prayer I made in secret, I will make out here in the open. Chukwu Abiyama Biko, since it is your intention that your kingdom will be restored upon this very earth, I need men. I need men. I did not say boys. I said I need men. Those of them that you created to restore your kingdom, they should come forward now, not tomorrow, not next year. Chukwu Abiyama. You must bring them now. I did not say tomorrow. Because the insult is too much. It is beyond what any human being can endure. We want to go and get Biafra, or we die in the process, because we are better off dead than witness some of this nonsense going on. The level of insult is beyond what any decent human being can tolerate. They bring their cattle into our land. They desecrate our land. They kill us in the presence of our families and nobody does anything about it. And when the police attend, the police sit idly by as people are being killed by not a multitude of people. Only 4. Only 4 Awasa people can sack an entire village in Biafra land, and we call ourselves men. No, we are not men. Until we redeem our honor. Until we look at integrity and say we must have a part of it. Until then, to be honest with you. This is Radio Biafra. Now is the time to come forward. I did not say tomorrow. Now, tonight, is the time to come forward. 100 of us, and then we march. 100 and we march. The rest can come later if they want to. I'm tired of broadcasting. I want to fight for my country. I want to carry arms to defend the honor and integrity of my country. I want to avenge the death of 6 million people. I want Biafra to stand as a beacon of hope, freedom, and liberty in black world. I want Biafra to stand as a testament to the glory of heaven upon the face of this very earth. I want Biafra to stand because my obligation to the dead outweigh that which I owe to the living. That is why Biafra will stand, and Biafra will come. 100 men, that's all. And we march. The rest can come later on. I no longer give a damn. The disgrace and insult is too much. But in Kakarigo, we must go and meet our enemies even if we have only machete and hoes. It is far more better for us to go and meet them and die with a semblance of dignity than with this very humiliation which we encounter every blessed day. We must assemble as quickly as possible.
Good evening. Good afternoon. Good morning. Depends on your time and location. I welcome you this wonderful evening on this live history edition, where we want to learn from the past and also learn from the history of those who have passed this road that we are passing, and we think it is so difficult. Even though if the road is very difficult, people has passed through this road and really got their freedom from fellow Africa country. That is why we must preach this evening about those have passed this way and how their people betrayed them, and how their own people being sponsored by oppressor and proving that they are the one on the right track. But when it is the right time to truth to prevail, in the history of Namibia, the history prevailed in the history of Namibia. The same history is what is repeating in Bafra movement that we are into. That is why I love so much to talk about the history of Namibia, because everything, when I mean everything that surrenders our movement that we are into right now has happened somewhere in Africa. Between the fighting of Namibia and the South Africa.
Se liga na maquininha, que seu
It
negócio
happens in their own time, like the way is fully happening in our own time. That's why I want you to learn from the lesson of Namibia. And I want you to use the history of Namibia to teach yourself a lesson, for you to know that whatever that you are doing today and claiming that you are fighting for Biafra, that we are not the first people that have fought for a new country in this world. We are not the last that are going to fight for a new country. After people will continue to fight for a new country, because once a population of human beings are appearing in this world, the people must continue to fight. People must continue to have their freedom. Even in our common rural areas, in our families, in our areas, we fight within ourselves. We fight within ourselves, and we never stop until we get everything all right. So then use that to imagine a whole fighting for a new country, like what we are doing today. Trying to liberate ourselves out from Nigeria territory to have that lost country that was started by Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu in the old eastern region, which was only Republic of Biafra, in 1967 to 1970. That is why we are here today. And I want you to know what happened time of Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu has happened today in the movement that we are into. The same way people betrayed him is the same way today people is betraying us. Then I also want you to understand again that people betrayed Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu in 1967-1970. The same way in the history of Namibia, they have betrayers that their journey started from 1915 to 1990. 75 good years of Namibia before they can be able to get to total freedom from the hands of Nigeria. Remember that Namibia even first us to start their movement. When we join, we move like who we are because we have what it takes to get it, but the betrayers set it back. Today, the same betrayers are setting what we are doing today back again. But I will quickly tell you one thing that you will bear in your mind as we proceed in this headline that you are seeing here today. I want you to remember the headline back. The history of Namibia, the names of 4 groups that betrays the Namibian history. The same thing is happening here today. And you're going to hear their names, like you see my headline. DTA was one of the groups that betrayed Namibia in their fighting. SWATF is organization being formed. This is the organization being formed after the declaration of Namibia as a country. So, what of Dta Trbldp? Another name, another group. It is 3 now. Then the last one, Acn. These are 4 organizations that deviated after the declaration of Namibia as a country. So you can see 4 today. You have MASOB, you have IPOB, you have the fake fallback bridge, and you have the BGC also. The same thing that happened, but in this history movement, I really want to understand one thing clearly here, is that among these that betrayed, there is only one that made the declaration of Namibia. They use the name SWAPO as the one, the authentic one, the original that made the declaration of Namibia you are hearing today as a full country today. If you put the authentic Namibia that made this peaceful declaration of Namibia as a country, then you may understand what I'm going to bring out to this evening. Remember that SWAPO, which the full meaning is South West Africa People's Organization, that transitioned from this organization on the day of their declaration in 1960, that Namibia declared that the name they will answer as a country is Republic of Namibia. After they have declared the Republic of Namibia in 1960, the betrayers fall out and they said, we don't believe in this declaration anymore. We want to remain where we are, or we are the one that is going to make it to happen. That you that made the declaration with this organization called SWAPO are fake, that we are the original. The first group that forms the organization in this movement of the history of Namibia as a country was DTA, in abbreviation. They are the one that started. They see themselves as the one that has capability to challenge the declaration of Republic of Namibia in 1960. After they have been together, declare their independence in exile, this group, DTA, walk away from the declaration ground and form their own group and start abusing, calling the SWAPO names like what we are hearing today, that they are calling United States of Bafra cabinet members, leading by Dr. Ngozi Araboeze. This is how the world, this is how the people of Namibia started. They start having division. They start having different way of their people. This group has started coming. From the DTA, a group being called SWATF formed their own group and start their own. They form their own group and do what? Start their own. They started, some of them from the SWATF walked away again and formed Trbldp as their own group. When TRBA group start doing their own, at a stage, another one move out. ACN move out again. They have 5 groups claiming that they are fighting for the freedom or to have a new country called Republic of what? Namibia. When they continue fighting in all these groups, when the UN decided to intervene into their matter, one of the most shocking things happened is that despite the noises and the walking around, even the DTA went to UN to prove that they are the authentic one. Do you know what happened? Because of they did not have the declaration document, the authentic one. They are claiming. And what happened? UN never recognized them. When all the group has started going to UN, start going to Washington, D.C., start moving around, none of them have this document. And what happened? The SWAPO stand as the government of the people of Namibia, representing the citizens in a full force. What happened? When you decided to hear from all of, after the UN have gathered all these groups to end their fight, the internal fight, what happened? The UN told them that the only group eligible was the one that gathered all of you to make the declaration of Namibia, Republic of Namibia as a country, which is SWAPO. Is the one that won. And that is the one that UN handed over recognition of Namibia as a country that you are seeing today. Those groups, that was 4 of them that deviated, had I not comes at last, Namibia sanctioned them, deal with them, and they understand why being a saboteur is very, very bad and very wrong to do. The same thing today that happened in Namibia is in front of us repeating. I am bringing this message of this history of this 5 group to 4 group of Namibia to you, to choose where you belong and know that there is a repercussion. And also know that the world knows the truth. That a way of the UN, that the way of the UN is quite different from the way you are seeing things on your own. The way of the UN is quite different from the way you reason. And that will happen in Namibia. And the people of Namibia later realize all their mistake when it's late for them. So I am here to bring this repeated history that is repeating right now in this movement. What do I mean? You see a group called themselves IPOB organization. You see Fake Fallback Bridge. You see BGC. And you see Masop. Remember that Masop did not declare Biafra as a country. Remember IPOB did not declare Biafra as a country. Remember the Fake Fallback Bridge did not declare Biafra as a country. Remember that the BGC never declared. That the only people that declared is the authentic registered, the first bridge registered by Simon Ebanjoko that he handed over to Dungozo Rabeze as a surrogate to protect the mandate is only one that make declaration like what happened in Namibia. As I am telling you right now, this history is going on. And I want you to just go to map of Africa or even map of the world, type the map of United States of Biafra in the map. You will see it there. What you will see there current now is United States of Biafra map as the new countries that are going into the full countries of the world. As we are moving, I really want you to pay attention to hear the truth. Use the history of Namibia to learn a lesson. Use the history of Namibia to believe that the USB we are declared is the only hope for every Biafran. Before we go more, let us see those on the comment section. Please, there is a link on top of this program you can see. That is my YouTube, that is my Facebook page. I want you to follow me there up to 100 so I can be able to be going live there also, to sending this message to Facebook also, please. That is the link where you see star on it. Follow me on my page. Facebook demand 100 before I can go live to Facebook to preach this message for people to hear, because there is a lot of confusion in the Facebook. Let us be sending our own message there and see how it will happen over there. So please endeavor to join me. And also remember that this is Real Biafra TV. You are commenting, you are watching the program, but you refuse to subscribe. What is the offense? Subscribing is not taking any money. Subscribing is not taking any extra thing from you. Subscribe on the Real Biafra TV, then turn the notification on. You will see a bell. Touch it, you will see all notifications. Touch it once, then you will know when we are live, because we don't have exact time to be alive, to come to live program, because we only come depend on the time of where we are and the time of our job give us free to come. Instead of us to use that time to sleep, we spend it here with you to remember you that all these groups that are making noise today, that is the world has never left a group when they use the group name to make declaration. They have never left declaration document and handed over a country to any other group. No, not happening. That is what they told us. A declaration of a new country is a legal document to pursue the country to achieve it to become a full country. And that is the country that Maznan kind of fight for. So, as we are moving, I want to greet you, Chido Emmanuel. Thank you so much for coming. Triple M, I greet you from here. Good evening. I greet you, Gineka. Thanks so much for coming. I greet you, Obenaya. Thank you so much for coming. Before we proceed, now the program begins. I want you to hear the history of Namibia and what they passed through in their movement, how many groups they have, and what happened, and those that the world organized. When is the time for recognition? That should be a lesson to any of us, and that is also why we are here, to preach this message to you, so you may understand it clearly, why we must stand on the USB we are declared as our own country. It is very, very imperative. So I want you to listen to this. You will hear the names of these four that's after the declaration of Namibia, and even the one that went ahead went and do another declaration again. There is a one that their own was much like what BGC is claiming, that Biafra has not been re-declared, that Obato will come and declare it again. When these people declare their own, you will never recognize them. They recognize the first authentic one by SWAPO. That is the one that they recognized. Learn a lesson from that history. So listen. Network. Sorry, we are coming.
The groups that did not believe in the Declaration of Independence by SWAPO, Southwest Africa People's Organization, were generally those who feared SWAPO's socialist leanings, its close ties to the Soviet Union, or its perceived dominance by the Ovambo ethnic group. While many of these groups wanted independence from South Africa, they did not believe SWAPO was the rightful or safe choice to lead the new nation. 1. The Democratic Turnhale Alliance, DTA. The DTA was the most powerful internal rival to SWAPO. They were a multi-ethnic coalition that believed SWAPO's approach was too radical. Why they didn't believe in SWAPO? They argued that SWAPO would create a one-party state and seize private property. Their alternative: they participated in internal elections organized by South Africa in 1978. SWAPO boycotted these elections, calling them a sham. The DTA tried to form an interim government to show they could lead without SWAPO, but this government was never recognized by the United Nations. 2. The Southwest African Territorial Force, SWATF. This was a local military force created by the South African administration. It was made up of Namibian citizens from various ethnic backgrounds: Herero, Kavango, Caprivian, and others. The conflict: these soldiers were effectively fighting a civil war against SWAPO's armed wing, Plan. Their stance: many in the SWATF viewed SWAPO as terrorists or foreign-backed insurgents rather than a legitimate government in waiting. Because they were armed and trained by South Africa, they were deeply mistrusted by SWAPO supporters. 3. The Rehoboth Basters, Liberated Democratic Party. The Baster community in the Rehoboth region had enjoyed a high degree of autonomy, self-rule, since the 1800s. Their stance: under their leader, Hans Diergaard, they actually made their own Declaration of Independence for the Republic of Rehoboth in 1989, just before Namibia's national independence. Why they resisted? They did not believe a centralized SWAPO government would respect their traditional land rights or their unique cultural status. They even took the new Namibian government to court to try to keep their autonomy, though they eventually lost. 4. Action Christian National, ACN. This was a party primarily representing the white conservative population. Their stance: they were the most vocal, anti-declaration group in terms of resisting majority rule. They believed that a SWAPO victory would lead to the total collapse of the economy and the end of their way of life. They advocated for strict ethnic protections and were the last to accept the 1990 transition. How the conflict ended. Despite these deep divisions, several factors forced these groups to eventually accept the declaration. UN Resolution 435. This international legal framework forced all parties to participate in one single, supervised election in 1989. The Constitution. To win over the groups that didn't believe in them, Swapo agreed to a multi-party democracy and a Bill of Rights that protected private property. This moved Namibia away from the socialist model many feared. Would you like to look at the specific legal arguments these groups used at the United Nations to challenge SWAPO's status?
I will play it again before we go into deep analysis of this session 1. Remember, there is 4 groups. Shibo Zed, I see you, good evening. Ebube Chukwu, I see you, good evening from here. Thank you. I want you to see what happened in Namibia. And you know, when people are doing something, they think that the world are not recording, keeping record of what we are doing. Then somebody may ask on the comment section, how did you know that this group was being formed by South Africa? After the UN has listened to all of them, from the UN interview, and the people of the Namibia understand those they are working for. That is how they tag this 4 group. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They know that they all are working against the freedom of Namibia people in question. All this happens in Namibia. One country that are fighting to exit from South Africa. Like the same way we as the Biafran people today, after our peaceful declaration, using the declared name called United States of Biafra to make a exit from Nigeria, like what the Namibian people did in 1960. And November the 29th, 2024 becomes the day that we make our peaceful declaration. After that, you know what we're passing through today. On the declaration day, after the declaration, the so-called IPOB said that they distance themselves from such declaration, as if they are the UN, as if they are the world power, as if there are anybody to give the order. Why the world are seeing and watching everything that is happening. The world is keeping record. That is why I'm telling you, or I'm telling us to understand how we feel, what you think, what you know is not the rule. The rule is the 21st century law that UN used to study and they monitor everybody with their oyokometer. You may leave it, you may take it, depend on you. Ask yourself, after this, our peaceful declaration in Helsinki, Finland, on the November the 29th, 2024, I want to ask you a question. Are you still under respecting the United States of Biafra that was declared, or have you exited away and formed your own group, your own organization? If you have today formed your own organization, go and check the number 1, the DTA of Namibia, claiming that they are the right and the legal people to stand to fight the SWAPO, the authentic that made the origin, the declaration of Republic of Namibia. If you are in IPOB doing protest and agitation, you may ask yourself the question of number 1. You did not make declaration. The criteria of the UN or of all the international community, you never met anyone. And you are claiming that you are fighting for Biafra as a country. The question is, are you really sure that this thing that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu cry for, that you are doing the right thing? If I may ask you, Before that, listen to this of Voice of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu again. I know why I continuously giving you this voice. This voice will make you to know, with this program I'm doing today, to know that the only option you have to respect Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is by following USB declared. That is the only option you have. So I want to keep you with this. I will be back.
Our people are lame. They are weak. I am struggling to count how many men there are in Bafra land. There are no more men left. Weak, docile, and imbecile. Weak. I don't know how we can take such people to war. I don't know how we can take men who are not men into battle and win. I am ashamed. Very, very ashamed. Nonetheless, we must preach this very gospel because man did not ask us to come. Chukwu Abiyama in heaven mandated that we should come. If not, that I was called to do this very work, I will not speak to any of you anymore. But Chukwu Abiyama said this very gospel must be preached, and we must preach it. I have prayed since yesterday up until now. My request is very simple. The same prayer I made in secret, I will make out here in the open. Chukwu Abiyama Biko, since it is your intention that your kingdom will be restored upon this very earth, I need men. I need men. I did not say boys. I said I need men. Those of them that you created to restore your kingdom, they should come forward now, not tomorrow, not next year. Chukwu Abiyama. You must bring them now. I did not say tomorrow. Because the insult is too much. It is beyond what any human being can endure. We want to go and get Biafra, or we die in the process, because we are better off dead than witness some of this nonsense going on. The level of insult is beyond what.
What did Mazi say? He wants to restore what? Biafra. And the only way we can restore Biafra is through our peaceful declaration. Through our peaceful declaration of the United States of Biafra is the only way. And he told us that he's tired to preach. And when we have the valuable option, the easiest way, our life will be, and Nigeria will not arrest us, Nigeria will not attack us more, then you refuse. And you want to continue that the only thing that is good for you is to be knocking woto. And you think that if that woto comes to you, that you will stand and do it. Now, let's go back to our program. Remember, like I said, I will play it again. After this one, then we move into deep analysis. Listen to the program that we have today, the headline again. I know I want to listen. Listen very carefully. Listen.
The groups that did not believe in the Declaration of Independence by Swapo, Southwest Africa People's Organization, were generally those who feared SWAPO's socialist leanings, its close ties to the Soviet Union, or its perceived dominance by the Ovambo ethnic group. While many of these groups wanted independence from South Africa, they did not believe Swapo was the rightful or safe choice to lead the new nation. 1. The Democratic Turnhale Alliance, DTA. The DTA was the most powerful internal rival to Swapo. They were a multi-ethnic coalition that believed SWAPO's approach was too radical. Why they didn't believe in Swapo? They argued that Swapo would create a one-party state and seize private property. Their alternative, they participated in internal elections organized by South Africa in 1978. Swapo boycotted these elections, calling them a sham. The DTA tried to form an interim government to show they could lead without Swapo, but this government was never recognized by the United Nations. 2. The Southwest African Territorial Force, SWATF. This was a local military force created by the South African administration. It was made up of Namibian citizens from various ethnic backgrounds, Herero, Kavango, Caprivian, and others. The conflict. These soldiers were effectively fighting a civil war against SWAPO's armed wing, Plan. Their stance. Many in the SWATF viewed Swapo as terrorists or foreign-backed insurgents rather than a legitimate government in waiting. Because they were armed and trained by South Africa, they were deeply mistrusted by Swapo supporters. 3. The Rehoboth Basters, Liberated Democratic Party. The Baster community in the Rehoboth region had enjoyed a high degree of autonomy, self-rule, since the 1800s. Their stance. Under their leader, Hans Diergaard, they actually made their own declaration of independence for the Republic of Rehoboth in 1989, just before Namibia's national independence. Why they resisted? They did not believe a centralized Swapo government would respect their traditional land rights or their unique cultural status. They even took the new Namibian government to court to try to keep their autonomy, though they eventually lost. 4. Action Christian National, ACN. This was a party primarily representing the white conservative population. Their stance. They were the most vocal, anti-declaration group in terms of resisting majority rule. They believed that a Swapo victory would lead to the total collapse of the economy and the end of their way of life. They advocated for strict ethnic protections and were the last to accept the 1990 transition. How the conflict ended. Despite these deep divisions, several factors forced these groups to eventually accept the declaration. UN Resolution 435. This international legal framework forced all parties to participate in one single, supervised election in 1989. The Constitution. To win over the groups that didn't believe in them, Swapo agreed to a multi-party democracy and a Bill of Rights that protected private property. This moved Namibia away from the socialist model many feared. Would you like to look at the specific legal arguments these groups used at the United Nations to challenge SWAPO's status?
I hope you are with me. And you are hearing what happened to Namibia. As you are listening, what we are passing through after our declaration and what happened in Namibia, is there anything different from what happened in Namibia? I want to know if you are following and you are understanding what we are doing here. As you are listening, or you are following the program, the name of this 4 group that was deviated, walked away from the history of Namibia. Did they succeed? Did anyone among these 4, did the UN organize any of them and give them power, or Washington DC give them power and said, you are the right one, come and take it? We are giving recognition as the one are leading Namibia people. The answer is no. They only recognized the authentic, the first come, first serve. In our language, we say that what we call first come, first serve. Dr. Ngozi Arabeze, through the peaceful declaration, has become first come, first serve in the eyes of the UN, like what happened in Namibia. That first declaration holds, and that first declaration was the one that the United Nations recognized as the legal, as the legitimacy one government for the people of Namibia, not DTA, not any of this group that has come after the declaration was being made by the same group of people, and whether they are looking for power. What brings those groups? What brings them is this. The same thing we are passing through today is that after the declaration, the cabinet members of the UN reshuffled all their cabinet members to tally on the criteria of a government. Those that already know that they do not have a position in the new country called Republic of Namibia, they all went out. They went together. Like when you see the fake fallback bridge of Ogenkere work together with Imam Dwabo at a time. When Imam Dwabo, Nigerian government find out that, oh, the Ogenkere, we paid money to stop the movement or to stop the declaration, could not. What happened? They contacted Imam Dwabo again with his group. They now shifted from Ogenkere, the fake fallback bridge, and formed their own BGC. That is what bring the number 4 in the history of the Republic of Namibia after their declaration. Why did I give the BGC number 4? Because the BGC are the one claiming today that the declaration is not hold, that Obatobie, Simon Ekpan Joko, the Prime Minister, will come out and make another declaration for them to transition into a country. Remember, that is why, because the Action Christian Nation, ACN, what happened? Look at what they said. There was part primarily representing the white conservative population, their stance. The most voice anti-declaration group in terms of representing the minority rule. They believe that the SWAPO victory would lead to the total collapse of the economy and the end of their way of life. They advocated that for treating ethnic persecution, and they were lost to accept the 1990 transition. Why? Why do I pick them up from number 4? I picked number 4 first because if you remember, those are in the BGC. They are all agree with themselves that Biafra has never been re-declared. That Obatobie, the Prime Minister, who started the movement of the declaration, that the Nigerian government and Britain and Finland colluded together to take him away. To take him away, they believe that he will come out to come and do the declaration again. And because of those that fight for Namibia, their leader was not arrested. Those that declared Namibia as a country was not incarceration. That is what happened. This Action Christian National went ahead again to go and repeat that declaration on their own. To go and they went and do another declaration on their own to condemn the first one. But what happened? The UN now said all the group that are not under the real declaration of the Namibia within the structure of SWAPO was lost. All of them lost their case. And UN tell them, you must go back to the original real declared structure that made the declaration of Namibia, Republic of Namibia, as a country. They all lost their case. These 4 groups lost their case, including the one that made the declaration, lost his case. The only one that did not lose their case was SWAPO, the Southwest African People Organization that made the declaration of Namibia as a country. They never lost their case. They are the one that the United Nations organized that Namibia. They are the one that UN give recognition and give a document of that Namibia from today henceforth has become a country like you pronounced. This is what happened in Namibia. This is what happened in Namibia. Today, the history of Namibia is in front of you and I. I'm repeating again. You see IPOB, you see Masob, you see fake fallback bridging, you see BGC, and or any other ones. But I am mentioning the notable eyes ones is the one I am mentioning. Not those that are not there. Please listen to the program again. I have somebody on my door, so I needed to know who is there, please. My bell is ringing, so please listen again. I will be back. Listen. To be busy.
The groups that did not
Reminding
believe
yourself.
in the Declaration of Independence by Swapo, Southwest Africa People's Organization, were generally those who feared SWAPO's socialist leanings, its close ties to the Soviet Union, or its perceived dominance by the Ovambo ethnic group. While many of these groups wanted independence from South Africa, they did not believe Swapo was the rightful or safe choice to lead the new nation. 1. The Democratic Turnhale Alliance, DTA. The DTA was the most powerful internal rival to Swapo. They were a multi-ethnic coalition that believed SWAPO's approach was too radical. Why they didn't believe in Swapo? They argued that Swapo would create a one-party state and seize private property.
You hear why they did not believe in the declaration being made by Swapo, like those who did not believe again, those who did not believe in our declaration when we used the organization called Bafra Republic in Exile that Obato be registered as an entity. They did not believe in that. Listen to this. The group that did not believe, the group that they did not believe, they are four in Namibia. Today, we are, even our own, we're up to 5, up to 6. Those that they did not believe in the declaration was 4 authentic groups that was being mentioned. And there is many more, but they choose to bring this notable 4. This 4 is the one that is notable in the eyes of the world, like IPOB, Masob, BGC, what is their name? Fake fallback bridge. These are 4. So that is why I pick up these 4. That is why I mentioned these 4. And if you look at what we are passing through and what is happening right now, nothing difference between what we pass through and what all these groups are doing today. I hope it is clear to you. I hope it is clear to you. Remember the code. If you never do that, thank you. At Ngozi, thank you so much, Obi, for reminding us. The code is #I am a citizen of United States of what? Biafra. Please put that hashtag. Mommy Ngozi, I welcome you. Benke, I welcome you. Divine, I welcome you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. We move, my people. Now, these groups are 4. The groups that did not believe in the Declaration of Independence by SWAPO, Southwest Africa People's Organization, were generally those who felt that SWAPO cannot lead them, that they are not the right to lead them. It close ties to this. They believe, and there was saying that SWAPO is working with Soviet Union, that they never want Namibia to be a country. That is their claim. But they are the one that never wants Namibia to become a country. Because of one, this DTA was seen as a rival, like Ogenkere, trying to claim that he is a rival of the United States of Biafra. This DTA move on, try to prove to the world that they are the rival, they are the authentic. But when the UN started to monitor them, and who sent them, because UN quickly got their information and knows that these people they never want to, because of number one, they are the ex-cabinet members. The government of Namibia argued that all these people, look at their name here in this declaration. No. Now, why did they form another group? Is because of they are no longer a cabinet members. And what happened? They formed their group. This is the argument of the SWAPO that made the declaration of Namibia as a country. Then, in that movement, when the SWAPO continue to argue that all these people are the ex-cabinet members, that what happened is that we reshuffle and select those that qualified, those are professional to handle the government, they fall out from the criteria. They did not meet the level that the government wanted. That is why when we dropped them, they all walked away. When they walked away, they formed their group and they call it DTA. Why? Many of these groups wanted independence from South Africa. They did not believe that SWAPO was the right or safe choice to lead the new nation. Like those who are today making mockery of themselves because of our DPM, Dr. Ngozi Arabeze. You see that these men who formed this group, and many of them who claim they are men on ground, who say that a woman, why no animal cannot lead me. Go and check who lead Namibia movement. It is a woman. Go and check apartheid regime of Nelson Mandela. It is a woman. Go and check Magahandi of India. The happened in India. It is also a woman. It was a woman also. Sorry. This is how it happens. Go and check about Brazil. It was a woman. That is your problem. Because of your black man. That thing that made you to become the most backiest people in the world is what is in your brain. That is why you cannot transition. That is why you want to remain where you are, and they want to be white man to bring in things for you at all time, and they see you as a big fool you are. In this movement of the Namibia, is an eye-opener. It's exact history. It is where all we are passing through today has happened. And if you cannot learn from this history, that means you will remain be a black man that who cannot reason. You cannot be, you can never move on. And that's simply you never want Biafra. But you see, this DTA claiming that they want to exit from South Africa. Why they are representing South Africa? When they try to take away the government that makes the peaceful declaration, when the government present the evidence of the declaration on video and also present the document of the declaration, what happened? They disappeared in the eyes of the United Nations. Do you think you will get Biafra by only going to Washington, D.C.? You are a liar. Because Washington, D.C. is not only the one that triggers recognition for a new state. And now Washington, D.C. knows the truth. If the world can call on the Namibia in general, or call all this group together and investigate all of them, after their investigation, without even this group knowing that they have all been investigated in the past, and also when South Africa send their own delegate to UN to tell them that these people never want to exit from South Africa. That is why you have that we are sponsoring the DTA, we are sponsoring the SWATF, that we are also sponsoring the the Trbldp, that we are the ones sponsoring them. And we also sponsoring an Action Christian National, which is ACN. These are the names of those that was being sponsored by South Africa to do what? To rubbish the declaration of the Namibia as a country. If what happened in Namibia is not opening your eyes to understand that you are playing the music of Nigeria, I want you to get it from here, then you may understand why you have to support USB declared as the only authentic country, only authentic one that is representing the Biafran people. I also want you to really understand that in everything that we are doing, that the world is watching us clearly without you knowing. You can deceive the gullible that are following you, but you cannot deceive the international global community. And let me tell you, no man has fought with a woman and win a woman. Go and check. No man has fought with a woman and win a woman. Be very careful. Because the DTA was leading by a man. The Trbldp is also leading by a woman. The ACN is also leading by who? By a woman. The SWATF is also leading by who? By a woman. None of them defeat that woman who made that declaration and who stand on that mandate. Go and check the history. That is why I told her, we will use other people's history to know what we are doing and if we are on the right track. As you can see, the USB re-declared by one and only Dr. Ngozi Arabeze. It's only time that you may understand this program so much. I told you, remove your hatred. Remove that you are no longer an honorable cabinet member. The world are not judging whether you are or you are not, but they are judging the legal framework. The UN is using the legal framework. That is why you must go and check the legal framework. I'm giving you the way it is here. UN Resolution 435 is what they use to judge this case that we are into. In that Resolution 435 favors who? The one that has made the peaceful declaration, that has the authentic document, that if not that she made that declaration, that none of you could have made the declaration. I'm talking about people of Namibia. And the same thing is repeating in our case today as the people of Biafra. The same thing is here repeating. And you are here repeating the history of Namibia. Under the research of the history of Namibia, the way of their independence, then you may understand all this that happens. That is when you will know that USB are declared. That nobody can defeat USB, even Nigeria, because South Africa could not defeat the Namibia declaration. And the talkless of this 21st century, that the world or the international community has made it pop and plain that the only way is what? Through a peaceful declaration. And we have done that. And I challenge you by asking you to go to Google or Chrome or anywhere you can search which people made a peaceful declaration in this 21st century. What you will see is United States of Biafra by Dr. Ngozi Arabeze. So calling her Ngozi Arabofulani, Ngozi Arabugoro, the world are not listening to you. They know that you are not serious human being. They know that you can't give what she can give, and that is why you want to drag her. And they know that you never want Biafra as a country. That you want to remain making money and continue answering honorable cabinet member. That is only why you are doing what you are doing. There is nothing that will happen in this life that has never happened somewhere before. There is nothing that will happen in this world that has never happened somewhere what before. That is the things I want you to pay attention into. That is the things I want you to understand clearly. That is the things that you must reason. That's why I told you, when you are claiming fake fallback bridge, where has it happened before and they win the case? When you are claiming IPOB, where has it happened in the world and they win the case? When you are claiming Masab, what you are representing, where has it happened before and they win the case? When you are claiming BGC, where has it happened before and they win the case? You only win the case in your own thoughts. You only win the case in your own reasoning. But on the legal framework, you lost zero woefully. It is a high time that you step back before the UN or the world powers. We ask you to go back, and it must become a very shameful thing for you. By that time, it will become a very shameful to you. I am here to giving you all this. You, BGC, you, fake fallback bridge Ogenkere, you, IPOB organization, you, Masab of Wazirike, and you, Imam Maduabo, and all of you are in that cleave that you are into. That is why I'm giving this message, because I want you to know the truth. Had I know comes at last. Had I know only come when truth prevail. And I am here to tell you, not that I wanted to tell you, because what you are doing, you are dancing the dance of the shame in social media. I am not here to play with you, but I am here to dish out this real authentic history that has happened to us, that today happened in the case of Namibia in their own time. I want you to know that anything that we are passing through today, that people has passed through that in the past. I also want you to know that I am not here to preach you redemption. I am not here to preach you one Isocha. I am not here to preach you, but I am here to preach you the history where you will use to understand what we are passing through. Because I know that some people don't like such a thing. You like when we will talk what you know and how you feel and how you want it. We don't want to talk how the laws look into what we are doing. No, you won't see us. But I urge you, please, as you join me, I want you to hit the like button. Please, like, share, subscribe, and turn notification on so you know when we are live to pass this message to you. If I ask you in the comments right now, with what we have already had here, now do you believe that USB we are declared is the legal way, the right of the people? We are going to go down to when the UN said, okay, let us conduct election with all your names, and how the SWAPO that made the declaration of Namibia won with 57, others won with 29, others won with small votes. The same thing happens today. Go to all these platforms of all these deviated animals, all these criminals. Check how many people are following them in the comment section. Go and check. The one called Obi-Wan that claims he knows everything, that even in Facebook, in YouTube, nobody comments in his program. Nobody like. Al highest 5 people. And he always come here, wear big clothes, claiming he knows more than every other person. These are the people like the 4th group that make the declaration, another one. A man who cannot stand one place. I leave it there. So, let's continue. We see on number 1. Listen. Number 1, those that deviated after the declaration of Namibia. The DTA was the most powerful internal rival to SWAPO. The war Decl is seeing himself as the internal rival of the USV we are declared. The history is here. They were multi-ethnic colonization that believed SWAPO approach was too radical. That is what Ogenkere, fake fallback bridging. That is what BGC is claiming. That is what Masob and IPOB is claiming. So, but what happened? Let's continue. They say that they are too radical. Language advisor is Madam Bao Bao. Are you not hearing it? Am I the one who says that? These are the areas you need to pay attention. Because the game has started right now. Sorry, the program just began. Now listen. Why they did not believe in the SWAPO? Why that this DTN, who was among the group, that's the individuals that stayed on the day of the declaration of Namibia in 1960. After the declaration of the Namibia in 1960, it takes them 8 years before UN can talk about them. It took them 8 years before the UN can talk about Namibia people when they have investigated them at back and find out that SWAPO was the legal and the authentic one, that the one acting as a government of their people without even knowing. Okay, let's continue. They argued that SWAPO would create one-party state and seize private properties. Do you hear it? That is what South Africa asked them to do, and they're representing that. They claim that the declaration of the from the SWAPO was the wrong one, that they are going to seize properties. What properties? The property they are talking about, it is property that those built by South African citizens in the land of Namibia or in the territory of Namibia. Like the same way today, Nigeria has built bank, built some hall, built some school in Biafran territory. And those that are claiming that the Namibia is going to seize the document or these private properties was people also among the declaration of the Namibia as a country. Now, the DTA that was, look at how it was being addressed. The DTA was the most powerful internal rival to SWAPO that made the declaration of Republic of Namibia in 1960. But I want you to, let me take your mind somewhere. Before the 1960, this SWAPO has functioned between 1915 to 1960 declaration. Now check, between 1915 to 1960, how many years? Can someone help me in the comment section? Between 1915 to 1960, how many years? They have been functioning, protesting, and doing agitation. But the most important note from this, or the most important lesson was, they are the one that organize themselves and make the declaration of Namibia as a country. I need your help on the comment section. Between 1915 to 1960, how many years? And in 1960 was the year that the SWAPO cabinet members make the declaration of Republic of Namibia? If you are here, I need your comments, your help on that question. Between 1915, between 1915 and 1960, how many years? How many years that Namibia struggled, agitated? The only thing that happens that where they got it right was, remember, that when there was protest and agitating from the hands of South Africa to leave, remember that nobody talk about them until they make their declaration. After their declaration, it took the world power like UN 8 years that start talking about the movement of Namibia. Yes, thank you so much, 45 years. Doreen, thank you so much. 45 what? Good years is what they struggled for. Now, IPOB and the MASOB to 2025 could be around. If you minus if you check from 1999 to 2020, how many years that IPOB is agitating without declaration? That MASOB is protest agitating without declaration. Do you understand? So check for me for IPOB in general, including MASOB, because the members of MASOB move into IPOB. That is true. So we cannot give them different numbers. From the MASOB of Wazirike 1999 to 2026, how many years? Please. Ben Ken, thank you so much. 45 years. Now, the question I'm asking is, between MASOB rising up with agitation 1999 to 2026, how many years? Please, want to check. Yes, 27 years of IPOB agitation and the MASOB, no declaration. And remember that this is the 21st century. Remember that this is the 21st century. As you are seeing it today. On this that you are seeing today that is happening, 27 years, over a decade, it remains, even if you count one decade, 10 years, 27 years is 2 decades and that they continue to agitate, nothing, no action. Then, minus 2002 of Simon Ebanjoko to 2026, inside these 27 years, then you will understand who won Biafra as a country and who wants to remain on the protest and agitation. Remember that these 45 years of Namibia agitation, that no UN talk about them, despite the hard and the harder that South Africa was going on them, trying to arrest and wipe them away. They said when you are doing agitation without when you are doing protest and agitation without a declaration of a new country, that your problem lies in the hands of those that you want to exit from. They call it what? Internal affair. That they did not give them the right because of the law of territorial integrity. They don't have right to enter. But when you make a declaration, it has become the external remedial section that gives the world the power to come and talk about you. If it takes Namibia 8 years for them to present or UN to talk about them or recognize them as a country of their own, then is the USB of 15 months ago is the one that you're asking, what are they doing? If you want to know what USB we are declared is doing, go under research and you will see. Iwalanyage, balo ezbo Christmas. Urakage, region yafe jogi. Not I was being told, but I see by myself and I hear by myself. So let's continue. Now you can see how they started. And these people who claim that they are the real arrival of the SWAPO, like we using Biafra Republic government in exile to make a peaceful declaration of United State of Biafra. The question may be, despite a long waiting of Namibia, after the declaration, you will ask, what name are they answering? Also, you may also ask, before the declaration of Namibia, which name are they answering? And after that, which name are they answering again? These are the areas you need to check. So you will see why USB re-declared is the only option you have. And as the legal one among all this noise making in social media. Let's go to number one. The attractive, they are in the internal election, they're participating in the internal election organized by the South Africa in 1978. You see, the DTA went ahead, participated in the South Africa election. Are you hearing? And that is those who claim that SWAPO is the one working with Soviet Union. And the Soviet Union work with South Africa. This is how the enemies always will first, through all the attack, through all the blackmail, to the real one. And what happened? At last, you will hear it in due time. The SWAPO boycott the election, this election. Now, the election that the DTA agree and have with South Africa is the one that SWAPO told their people, do not participate on it. And those who believe in the SWAPO did not participate. And those who believe in the DTA, those who believe in the SWATF, all of them participated in the South Africa's election. The same thing you are seeing today. When USB will say, do not participate in the election, upcoming election, you will see the gullible one going in there to participate. That is the same thing that you are seeing today that happened in country called Namibia. Today is here repeating again, and you are seeing it with your own eyes. Call them shame. The DTA tried to form an interim government to show they could lead without SWAPO declaration. The same thing is forming today. The world will call it what? Interim government. There is nothing like that. So go and form whatever you want to form as an interim government. The world are watching. The world believe in what you don't believe. The world, their reasoning and their thinking and their view is not the way you view, the way you think and the way you reason. This is how it is. Why am I making you to know? For you to see where you are in the BGC, to see where you are in the fake fallback bridge, for you to see where you are in the IPOB and Massaw, that you are just there. Not for the world to organize you as a country. And whatever we are doing, that you is doing, that is not about recognition of Biafra. For people to rest, you are a deceiver. I want also to remind you here that today is the ID card capture. So if you know that you have filled your form and the remain capture, please go in today, as I'm posting the link here, to join to join the link. So through Zoom meeting, so you can be able to feel your, so you can be able to do your capture today. I'm going to post it on our comment section right now, so you from there you can see the link, and so you can be able to do the needful at this time by going in. They are only doing capture today, so go in there to do your own capture once and for all. The program has already started, so join if you know that you need a capture. But if you know that you're doing the capture, we are good to go here if you remain here. There is no problem about that.
It's crazy.
Sorry about the
Must be one of
noise.
those internet bugs.
So it is what it is that nobody can stop. And when I said that we are not the first people that has start building for a new country, or we are not the first to have a new country. So you can see the link very soon on the comment section. I want you to yes, 3PM, that is our people. The people of Namibia was confused until the final announcement from the UN, 1990. If you check from 1915 to 1990, it's 75 good years that people was confused, Mazi. So, and because of black man reasoning, you remember what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said about a black man brain? Remember that. So that's what's happening. So, as you can see, this SWAPO was the authentic one that makes the declaration, and they are the one that was being organized by the UN finally. Why can't this teach you a lesson and you swallow your pride and your ego and remove that blockhead, that African, that black man mentality that is swallowing you down every blessed day? Why can't you leave it? Why can't you just go and take USB ID card and wait for recognition and stop making noise? Listen, as I do this. The SWAPO, by called the election, claiming that those are chain people. The DTF tried to form an interim government to show that they can lead without SWAPO, but the government were never organized by the United Nations. This thing you see Oge Nkere doing, this thing you see Oge Nkere, this thing you see Mamadou Abu, this thing you see IPOB, this thing you see Swatf Trbldp doing, they said what? That but the government was never organized by the United Nations. None of them was organized by the United Nations. Who did they recognize? They recognized the declaration that was made by SWAPO. Is one that the UN recognized. Can this serve as lesson to you? Forget about your envy. Forget about your jealousness. Forget about no one who are Namibia right now. And all the same woman terror, the same woman on Soviet Union and South Africa. Why that you was being paid by South Africa, the DTA. Now, number 2. Mommy, for a good evening from here. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. How are you doing? Hope you are good. Hope you are good. Thank you so much. Then number 2 group. Remember the number 1. Like what you see Oge Nkere on Ebuga, on Abalekele, on a picture, on a post. The world knows the truth. And when the due time come for Namibia to be recognized openly, they recognize SWAPO, the one that make the peaceful declaration, the one that make the declaration of Namibia as Republic of Namibia is the name. With their documents is the one that United Nations organized. You see the way we, yes, Triple M, you see the way we are watching this, all these four groups right now, is the same way the SWAPO watches all these groups that comes in Namibia. Do you know why I never move away from Namibia history? Because if you check this Namibia right now, Triple M, what we are passing through right now, what is happening, is you know what's happening in Namibia in full force? Is you know what happened in Namibia in full force? As we are seeing it right here. All these saboteurs gather here, tag Imam Maduabo, tag Chiamaka Ajere, tag Ogenkere, tag IPOB, tag Maso. Let them hear it and hear it clearly. Tell them to go and search about those that never want Namibia as a country. Their actions. Go to Google and search it and see. So you will know where you belong. And you will ask, which one did the United Nations organize as the legal and the legitimate government of people of Namibia? Is the one that make the declaration openly. IPOB, did you make declaration? IPOB, did you make any declaration? Masob, do you make declaration? Fake fallback bridge, any of you make declaration? BGC, did you make declaration? That is why I ask you to go and check the history of Namibia. All of you are on the repeating history of Namibia, those that never want Namibia to become a country. That is what you all are representing, and the world is watching. The world is what? Watching all of you. And you are shenanigan. The world is watching all of you. The world are looking. As you are making mockery of yourself. As you are doing yourself harm than good. Yes. Today our USB map is in the world map. Yes, 3PM, yes. I said it here before. I said it here. On my WhatsApp group, I have bring it out and put it there for you to share. And what do you see there? What you see there is United State of what? Bafra is what you see. Not Masob, not IPOB, not Fallback Bridge, not BGC. You only see United States of Biafra. That is when you will know it's game over. The same thing that happens in Namibia. After the people have seen the map of Namibia in the world map, and they continue, only you seeing the United States of Biafra USB map in the world power, what do you think? That could not teach you a lesson. You continue being a fool. You continue using your African mentality that will destroy you. You continue doing it. Honestly, continue. The world are watching. I said what? Continue. The world are watching. They are observing. If the map can enter into the world map, don't you know that we are going home very soon? Don't you believe that we are going home? Don't you believe in that? That is why I am here to tell you to listen to the histories of the world. And that is where we have to learn our lesson. That is where I want you to pick up something to know that in all this that you are doing, that you are just wasting your time. That is why I told you that I am a proud citizen of United State of Biafra. I am so proud to be a citizen of United State of what? Biafra. Now let us go to number 2 of the group. The Southwest Africa Territorial Force, SWATF. Listen. This was a local military force created by the South Africa administration. It was made up of Namibia citizens from various ethnic background heroes. The conflict, these soldiers were effectively fighting a civilian war against Swapo arm wing, PLAN. Jesus Christ. I hope you are listening. And I hope you are following. Do you see? Now, who created this military? The South African government. This was a local military force created by the South Africa administration. It was made up of Namibia citizens. They did not bring outside. That is why it's an insider must fight us. The insider are the one fighting us. And that is what we are seeing today. And in your eyes is happening. And you refuse. I must continue to preach about this Namibia history. That is, in fact, because I can't be though. I must preach it until it gets to any of you. That is why I ask you, please, if you scroll on the comment section, you will see my Facebook link. Just follow me on Facebook for me to get 100 followers. Because I want to be streaming my program live in Facebook. Because through that way, I think the message will go viral. On top of this comment section, you will see my Facebook link. Just follow me, only follow me there. Why do I want you to follow me to help me to preach the message in Facebook? Because small time, I want to be preaching the message in Facebook. I want to preach the message in TikTok. Any social handle, I want to go there and preach this message. Because I want to educate myself. That is also how I want to use it a little one to educate our people to know the truth. Please, I urge you to please or recommend people on that link, my Facebook page. The TikTok is coming very soon. We want, as we are streaming here live, we can stream in all of them and got all the questions and answer people. Honestly, I want to go extra mile on this preaching, on this history movement. Because very soon, you may see our page as YouTube page as History of 21st Century. I have a reason for that. I want you to believe that if DTA did not win SWAPO, that make the declaration of Namibia as a country, then I want you to know that they will not win us. That they can never win USB re-declared. Forget about the noise. Forget. The world knows the truth. Now, on this number 2, that is where we are. The conflict. These soldiers were effectively fighting a civilian war against the people of Namibia. Those that believed in the SWAPO declaration, the same way they are fighting those in the homeland today. Remember that. I hope you're hearing it here. These, as they have got recognition, they have written all the history of what happened to Namibia. The same way we are going to write, we are writing already the history of what happened after our declaration. The game is very sweet. Their stance, many in the SWATF view SWAPO as a terrorist or a foreign background insurgents rather than the legitimate government in waiting. I hope you listen to this today. What are they calling our DPM? What the white painted hair woman? What is he calling our DPM? What is he calling USB declared? What was Sani Akparawa and his cohort calling USB declared? USB charger, USB one Nigeria, and all this. But they are the one working against USB. They are the one working for one Nigeria list. Look at it here. If they play, if they show. That's what we are doing here. Why we are mentioning the name is that for you to know those that in this position of those four groups that never wants Namibia to be a full country, that are working for the opposition, the oppressor. I am not, but the handwriting on the wall proving that there is those you are working for. Not me. Not me. Many. What happened? They are the one being sponsored by South Africa. They are the one attacking those that make declaration with the declaration document, calling them terrorists, calling them, you are working for a foreign background, you are creating insurgency, you are not the right legitimate government, you are not a government, you are not a country in waiting, you are just killing our people, you are working, look at it, they are working for who? That you are working for South Africa. Why in the real truth, South Africa was the one who trained these criminals. Mazi Odogwoki Livinity, I see you. Thank you so much. We are already home, honestly. Yes, thank you so much for coming. I am very happy that you are here, watching your boy. Thank you so much. In this number 2, because we want to run the program, you know, it's from 1 to 4. After number 2, I will put link. Our people will narrate these 2 and send another message to those enemies around us. Before I put the link, I will play it again. I will play from 1 to 2. After that, I will put the link for those who want to come in and contribute what they see and how they reason this program or this research of the history of Namibia. If maybe I am only the one thinking that what these groups I mentioned, IPOB, Masob, Fake Fallback Bridgeo Genkere, Imamada BGC, if they did not in this criteria, if they did not meet this criteria, if they didn't, then I stand to be corrected. That is why I welcome fellow Biafrans through the link to join us, to air their view out. Maybe if I am going in a wrong way. So like I said, I am going to play the voice. So listen, I will play from 1 to 2, I will pause. Then I'll put the link.
And seize private property. Their alternative, they participated in internal elections organized by South Africa in 1978. Swapo boycotted these elections, calling them a sham. The DTA tried to form an interim government to show they could lead without Swapo, but this government was never recognized by the United Nations. 2. The Southwest African Territorial Force, SWATF. This was a local military force created by the South African administration. It was made up of Namibian citizens from various ethnic backgrounds, Herero, Kavango, Caprivian, and others. The conflict. These soldiers were effectively fighting a civil war against SWAPO's armed wing, Plan. Their stance. Many in the SWATF viewed Swapo as terrorists or foreign-backed insurgents rather than a legitimate government in waiting. Because they were armed and trained by South Africa, they were deeply mistrusted by Swapo supporters. 3. The Rehoboth Basters, Liberated Democratic Party. The
Yeah, like I said I will post it after number 2. So there is a link. In case if you want to join us, you can on the program. You can join us and put your own voice over what we are doing. The map is on my WhatsApp group. It is very easy for you to just, as you are here, right? Just go on Google, type United. Where can I find United State of Biafran map? Just type it, you will see it. Will show. It's in the Google. It's in the open. I hope you can hear me because network knocked me out. I hope, can you hear me? Please, can someone confirm that you can hear me? Please help me confirm if you can hear me, please. If I'm coming out loud and clear. The network knocked me out. Please, can you hear me? Can you hear me, please? Can someone hear me? Please, can someone hear me, please? If you are watching and you are hearing me, please, I want to know if you can hear me. Okay. Thank you so much, Mommy. Thank you. Because network knocked me out. Thank you, Mazi. Even if I thank you so much. So, based on what we are doing today, you can see the link up there. In case if you want to join the program, you can join us through the link. You can join us through the link. Look at what's happened and how the Namibia movement is. For me, I see this Namibia movement as purely where we learn our lesson from and where we know those that are not working with us. And if you are still doubting USB we are declared, the first thing that will give you the morale to believe in the USB they are declared is what? What is that thing? That is the name of Namibia as a country. That group that made the peaceful declaration was the authentic one. The first one. That is why I call it what? First come, first serve. They are the one that made the peaceful declaration. That's not even peaceful. Because they fought many wars. Yes, before they went in and made a peaceful declaration back. That triggers recognition. In all the years of Namibia movement, remember that Namibia started this movement from 1915. From 1915 to 1960, they made a declaration in the 1960. 45 years of protest, agitation. In over all the years that Namibia, that they use the name SWAPO to do all their protests, do all the things they are doing, fights and all of them, the world power like the UN never for one day recognized them. No. They never even talk about them. But immediately on 1960 maximum, they organize themselves as a government in exile and make a declaration of their country. After that, their declaration in 1960, UN, world power, nobody talk about them until 1968. Today, my network is very, very poor. I don't know why. Or is it from StreamYard or what? I never experienced this one knocking me out at all time. Honestly. I never experienced that. But we are here because we must send this message out. We are back. I believe so. So, after this, their declaration, 1960. Remember, 1960 to 1968 is not 8 years. The first time UN will talk about Namibia declaration as a country. The first time that UN will recognize Namibia. The first very ever time. It took Namibia 8 years after their declaration for them to be recognized from the UN. And we are just 15 months ago that we made the declaration of the United States of Bafra as our own country, like people of Namibia. So, as you can see, what is the difference between them and us? Absolutely nothing. The same thing we have did is what the people of Namibia in their own time has done in the past. That is why we need to follow the same road. And today, if you want to look at that history of our movement, you go to Namibia history and Algeria. You know, I never even bring the Algeria one for you. We are only on Algeria and we are only on Namibia. We never talk about Algeria, their own. If you hear about the Algeria own, you're again. So why am I bringing all this? I am bringing all this for you to know that what we are happening today has happened somewhere in the past. That what we are passing through today, that people has passed through this land But what happened? They remain resolute. The group, the organization called SWAPO remained steadfast. They was be able to gain recognition from the UN. Remember the number 1 and number 2. Remember them. The number 2 was where South Africa on their own sponsored military group. Give them all they needed. This group turned against their people. The same way you see gentle Yahoo coming to tell you that sit at home has stopped. And when he found out that people are not listening, he come back and starts his shenanigan.
We are only on Algeria.
This is
only on Algeria.
This is how you will know what we are passing through today, that people has gone through that in the past. I don't understand what is wrong with network this evening, honestly. I hate when I'm live, network will be kicking me out. Honestly. I don't really understand. I never experienced this before. Today is my first time. But it's all good. No matter how many times they kick us out, no matter how many times the attack comes, please, I want you to touch hand on the MOG love or anything there, please. Because those things also allow YouTube to know that people are listening to what we are doing. Just you can touch on the MOG that is there, please. And as you join, please like and share the program. Like I always said, please like and share. Why are you not sharing the program? Does the program not worth being shared? Please like and share the program. If you ever do so. I know that even our Biafran people, those under USB, they did not like such program. It's few that love it, but I am doing what I love to do. What kept me going, believe that USB is the right source, to know that what I am passing through today, that has happened somewhere, and it encourages me to do more. If here is where I preach the nobody will gather. But because I am not preaching redemption, nobody is coming. There is no redemption without understanding the history of who you are and the weird things has happened in the past. There is no. And I want to tell you, all this internal matter that happened in the Namibia movement, does this stop Namibian recognition when it is due time for them to recognize by the UN? It does not stop. Even the UN was by the roadside monitoring all of them, the activities of those who claiming this 4 group. That is why UN can quickly tell them that the only group recognized was SWAPO that made the declaration. That was the only group they organized. And that is the one they handed over recognition of Namibia. They pronounced Namibia as a country on behalf of SWAPO that made a declaration of what? A country called Republic of Namibia. I will play number 3 because I wanted people to join us, but nobody joined the link. So I will continue.
Baster community in the Rehoboth region had enjoyed a high degree of autonomy, self-rule, since the 1800s. Their stance, under their leader, Hans Diergaard, they actually made their own declaration of independence for the Republic of Rehoboth in 1989, just before Namibia's national independence. Why they resisted? They did not believe a centralized Swapo government would respect their traditional land rights or their unique cultural status. They even took the new Namibian government to court to try to keep their autonomy, though they eventually lost. 4. Action Christian National, ACN. This was a party primarily representing the white conservative population.
Listen.
Their stance, they were the most vocal anti-declaration group in terms of resisting majority rule. They believed that a Swapo victory would lead to the total collapse of the economy and the end of their way of life. They advocated for strict ethnic protections and were the last to accept the 1990 transition. How the conflict ended. Despite these deep divisions, several factors forced these groups to eventually accept the declaration. UN Resolution 435. This international legal framework forced all parties to participate in one single, supervised election in 1989. The Constitution. To win over the groups that didn't believe in them, Swapo agreed to a multi-party democracy and a Bill of Rights that protected private property. This moved Namibia away from the socialist model many feared. Would you like to look at the specific legal arguments these groups used at the United Nations to challenge SWAPO's status?
I hope you had it. Now we are on number 3 of the group that was being formed after the declaration of Namibia as a country. This is another group that was formed. From 1 to 4, fighting against only one. 4 different groups fighting to stop one group. And they could not be able to stop. They never stopped. And they did not win. That is why I want you to know that it's only USB we are declared is the only option you have. And that is the only way we can achieve Biafra as our own country. If you can understand the declaration of Namibia and what's transpired, that is when you will understand what USB we are declared and all our documents stand for. That is why I'm telling you that it's very, very imperative that you stand by the USB we are declared as the legal and authentic government that UN, EU, and the AU is going to advise, are going to listen to in due time. It took Namibia 8 years, not even recognition from the UN, only for UN to mention them. It took 8 years only to mention. If you check from 1915 to 1990, is 75 years. That's what it took for Namibia to finally grab their country. This is what it takes them for Namibia to become a country. But you may ask yourself, are we going to wait like Namibia? After the declaration in 1960, they waited for 8 years. So now check. From 1960 to 1968 is 8 years. Now, from 1968 to 1990, how many years? You see a long process. But I want you to know why our own is going to be different from what happened to them is this. Because our own is real declaration. We are not just a fresh. We only resurrected a dead body. Like when Christ resurrected Lazarus from death. That's what we did. So that is why our own is not going to take like them after our declaration. And when Namibia make their declaration, it took them 8 years before their map can be start seen in the world map. But look at USB we are declared. Our map is already showing to the world that we are a country. Remember, whatever puts your map to the world power, and also in African map, ask yourself what remains again. What puts our map in African map and the world power? What remains again? If you are still dancing on the roadside of an organization called Bridge, fake. If you are still dancing on the BGC, fake, you are doing yourself more harm than good. If you still believe in IPOB, alo merege. If you still believe in Masob, aro mekwa. Because if you go to that map, what is there is this. Let me show you from phone. Because I don't have it in my system right now. I don't put it in my system. Look at this map here. Look at that red. Look at the map. You can see the map. Look at the map. You can see the map. This is African map. You see what? See that red dot? That red dot is arrow. And that arrow is pointing on United State of what? Biafra. That arrow is pointing. Anywhere you research, what you will see is United State of what? Biafra. If only this thing cannot give you something in your mind, if only this cannot change your mind, remain where you. Nobody's begging you to come out. Your name and the name of your group will be written in the Biafran history as the way the Namibia betrayers was being written here. You see the 4 group that betrayed the Namibia movement, that denounced their recognition, sorry, that denounced the declaration of Namibia. If you, the way you see it here today, that is what I'm telling you, that is the way it is in our own case. And this is how the history is going to remember fake fallback Bridjo Genkere, the rights, the group he used to fought against USB were declared. That is also the way that we are going to write BGC. The way they fought against USB were declared as a nation. That is how we're going to write about IPB organization that distance themselves from the declaration. That is how we're going to write Masob. These 4 is the most one that eyes are seeing. That is the one, that is the why I am giving you this. And if you check all these names of organization that happens here, that is when you will understand that the only option you have is USB re-declared. They know that this is the only legal one. Remember that even a group here, the Action Christian National ACN, formed their own group. They formed their own group and do their own declaration. They form their group, do their declaration. But as we question, did the UN recognize them? The answer is no. UN has never recognized them. They only recognized SWAPO that make the declaration of Republic of Namibia, like what you are seeing today. I said, like what you are seeing today. This is our movement. All that happened in Namibia is happening in front of us. And the Nigerian governments are learning from the history of Namibia how to destroy the movement that we are into by creating all this we are seeing today. IPOB, over 52 IPOB members has come back from abroad and denounced that they are no longer fighting for Biafra to this Nigeria, that what they are doing, they want to have a chance to enter Nigeria politics. You see? So when you hear all these names that fought against the declaration, did they win against this declaration? The answer is no. They never win against the declaration. Those that make the declaration won the election. They are the one ruling Namibia as a country. So, if you are listening to all this, The only thing I want you to bear into your mind is that there is no way, there is no two ways about having a new country, only one way. If Ogenkere like, let him sleep on the ground of the Washington DC. The question is it only Washington DC will give you Biafra as a country? I want you to see Ogenkere on these four groups that fought against Namibia Declaration. Why I'm repeating this voice, or why I'm still giving it out to you, is to understand that if you are not proud of USB we are declared, you are doing yourself more harm than good. If you did not believe in USB we are declared, you are one of these four groups that fight against the Namibia Declaration. Who declares it? It's a group or organization be called SWAPO. They are the one that make the peaceful declaration of Namibia as a country. If you remove this group, the DTA, they see them page is under attack. If they see emoji love, they will allow the program to move on. So please, I ask you to just give me that emoji love. So let's know if the attack will reduce as we continue. As I'm waiting for it, I will be playing the audio voice once again of this research document of Namibia Betrayal Movement.
The groups that did not believe in the Declaration of Independence by Swapo, Southwest Africa People's Organization, were generally those who feared SWAPO's socialist leanings, its close ties to the Soviet Union, or its perceived dominance by the Ovambo ethnic group. While many of these groups wanted independence from South Africa, they did not believe Swapo was the rightful or safe choice to lead the new nation. 1. The Democratic-Turnhale Alliance, DTA. The DTA was the most powerful internal rival to Swapo. They were a multi-ethnic coalition that believed SWAPO's approach was too radical. Why they didn't believe in Swapo? They argued that Swapo would create a one-party state and seize private property. Their alternative: they participated in internal elections organized by South Africa in 1978. Swapo boycotted these elections, calling them a sham. The DTA tried to form an interim government to show they could lead without Swapo, but this government was never recognized by the United Nations. 2. The Southwest African Territorial Force, SWATF. This was a local military force created by the South African administration. It was made up of Namibian citizens from various ethnic backgrounds: Herero, Kavango, Caprivian, and others. The conflict: these soldiers were effectively fighting a civil war against SWAPO's armed wing, Plan. Their stance: many in the SWATF viewed Swapo as terrorists or foreign-backed insurgents rather than a legitimate government in waiting. Because they were armed and trained by South Africa, they were deeply mistrusted by Swapo supporters. 3. The Rehoboth Basters, Liberated Democratic Party. The Baster community in the Rehoboth region had enjoyed a high degree of autonomy, self-rule, since the 1800s. Their stance: under their leader, Hans Diergaard, they actually made their own Declaration of Independence for the Republic of Rehoboth in 1989, just before Namibia's national independence. Why they resisted. They did not believe a centralized Swapo government would respect their traditional land rights or their unique cultural status. They even took the new Namibian government to court to try to keep their autonomy, though they eventually lost.
They eventually lost. Like Ogenkere taking USB to court. Like Ogenkere taking USB that declared to court. And you know, when there was he think he won the case. God save him. That he would draw the case. And I want you to also know that only this United States of Biafra map appearing in the world map is end of the saboteurs. We are searching everywhere. I have sold and murdered my sleep to make sure that I follow the movement of US to know why I must be a proud United States of Biafran government. You know, our people will not believe until the final day. Do you hear it here? That this group that make declaration on their own, even take the government that make the declaration of Republic of Namibia as a country to court. They said here, they said they lost the case. These people do not understand the importance of the declaration document that is built by the Arabese. Ihe a na-agwa gị na nke ikpeazụ ahụ na ndị banyere si na ikpe mara eziokwu na aka azụ ụdị ya. Enwebe any country in the world with a declaration document ikpe mara. They win at all time and become a nation. So stop deceiving yourself. A fool at 20 will be a fool at 40. A fool at 40 will be a fool at 80. I want to understand it the way it is. I want you to know that if you are not standing on the USB we are declared, that you are harming yourself. And we will write your history. Someone like me will write your history and put all of where you belong. And your name will be in all the news. That will be in the document where our upcoming generation, future generation will read about all of you. Look at us today reading the history of Namibia. Look at the history of Namibia. It's been written right here. Look at the history is here being written. Today, from this is the history, what happened finally, 1990. This is 2026. I am reading the history. So if you check from 1990 to 2026, how many years? Today, that history is repeating. Ogenkere took USB and declared to court. Ogenkere took United States of Biafra to court. Like what the number 3 of this group did. Why they know that fully they are working for South Africa. And they are claiming. And there are people, some people follow them all. So this issue of follow, we not see USB and stuff. I want to know that it's not today that follow matter started. It's been there before us. It has happened many times, many years ago. So our own cannot be different from what happened to others. I will continue hitting on this. Because that is why I want to go to YouTube, to Facebook, and do this program. That's why, please just follow the link on the comment section. There is a link on top of this comment section. On that link, you just follow me. Facebook asked me to get only 100 followers. Then I can stream live on Facebook. I pin it on the top of the... So if you scroll the comment section down, bring the comment section down, you will see the link. Just follow me there. The only mission I have there is I want to preach this message to Facebook. I want to preach this message to TikTok. I want it to go. So let all these people that are being confused or those that was being deceived to come back in time before your name and your group will read on the written note or in the history book of the challenges that USB faced after our declaration. They never won the case. Those groups that merged after the declaration of Namibia. If I'm playing the OD, pay attention on the headline on the first written there. He said, those that never want Namibia, those that do not believe Namibia will be a country through SWAPO. Through that SWAPO is how Namibia becomes a country today. Because of what? The peaceful declaration document. Listen. Ana ehokita akoro. Ana ezi ananya. Akuna behind them here.
Though they eventually lost.
They eventually lost
4.
the case.
Action Christian National, ACN. This was a party primarily representing the white conservative population. Their stance: they were the most vocal anti-declaration group in terms of resisting majority rule. They believed that a Swapo victory would lead to the total collapse of the economy and the end of their way of life. They advocated for strict ethnic protections and were the last to accept the 1990 transition. How the conflict ended. Despite these deep divisions, several factors forced these groups to eventually accept the declaration. UN Resolution 435. This international legal framework forced all parties to participate in one single, supervised election in 1989. The Constitution. To win over the groups that didn't believe in them, Swapo agreed to a multi-party democracy and a Bill of Rights that protected private property. This moved Namibia away from the socialist model many feared. Would you like to look at the specific legal arguments these groups used at the United Nations to challenge SWAPO's status?
I hope you're hearing it. By tomorrow, we are going to listen to their when they take this SWAPO to court, what they are claiming in the court. It's everywhere. It's in the open. Tomorrow we are going to handle it on this page. So the people of USB, I want you with what you are hearing here, that the history is what repeating in our own case. And as the history is repeating, what are you doing? Where were you? Or where are you as this history is repeating? Where are you? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you saying on social media? Why are you getting the truth? And why are you a hater of the truth? Is the question I'm asking you. I want you to see what we are doing. And I want to understand it that there is no other way. There will be no other group that will win this case except USB we are declared. Remember that SWAPO fought against 4 groups. Today, USB we are declared is fighting against more than 10 groups because it happens in the 21st century. USB we are declared is fighting, not we are not even fighting against them. Fake fallback bridge is fighting against us. BGC, Mamadou Chiamaka Ajere, is fighting against us. Masob is fighting against this declaration. IPOB is fighting against USB government. These 4 groups, I just mentioned only about these 4, that are very notable groups, that they're all fighting against us. Today, you see the one who called himself for NECA, also has joined with IPOB to fight against us. But what I want you to believe and be proud of the USB we are declared with document is what? That despite these 4 groups who fought against the declaration of Namibia, that the one that made the declaration by SWAPO was one who won in the court and everywhere. They are the reason why they have a country called Namibia today. So you stand on the USB is the reason why we are going to, is the reason why we have the map of the United States of Biafra in the world map right now. That is why we have it in the world map. Because of what? Because you stand with USB, we are declared. And in the eve of the election of all these groups, you are connected by them and say, okay, we conduct election by you and your group, come and vote. People that have the highest number, we are going to give the mandate. Let us try that one. And the SWOPO accepted. They now, UN conducted an internal election between these 5 groups. Who won the election? The SWAPO that make the authentic declaration of Republic of Namibia won with 57 votes. Now, the DTA who claim that they are rival, they are the government, they got 29. The other groups get small results. The same is happening here. How do you know that USB followers are winning? Go to the comment section of all these Ugo 247, Chiamaka Jere, Sonia Kwarawa. Go to their platforms and check how many people are watching them. 10, 15, 20, highest. Now, use that to compare on USB platforms. Only my platform that only believe in the history of what happens in the past and how to get their freedom. In my program right now, you can see above 40-something people watching that like the program. Our people like to where they will hear what they have been hearing before. It's also our problem. We focus on internal matter. The question I want to ask you, in this history of these 4 groups that are fighting against Namibia, fighting against SWAPO that make the declaration of Namibia, did internal matter stop recognition? No. And we channel our strength more on our internal, instead of for us to educate ourselves and tell the world. D. Ogenkere coming to Washington, D.C. Ogenkere is representing the DTA of the so-called Namibia, those that never want Namibia as a country. You also let the world know that IPOB represent the let me bring it out. That they represent the number 2, SWATF. Now, you also tell them Imam Madwabu and his group are representing the Action Christian Nation, ACN. These are the things that we need to let the world know by ourselves through our social media handles. Then there we know that we know our rights and the world recognize us because we have understand what is missing in us. Every day, Washington, D.C. Every day, we're going to Washington, D.C. Can that bring us Biafra as a country? Is the question that we need to ask. If it cannot bring us Biafra as a country, why is he wasting his time? Because of the only thing he do, he knows that it's only through this, our peaceful declaration, is the only way Ogenkere will be making money. The only way he can make money is by name, claiming he's fighting for Biafra. That is the only way. There is no other way Ogenkere can make money. It's only claiming to his gullible that he is going to Washington, D.C. The same way the group that took the Namibia government to court proved. And did they won the case? You had it here that they lost the case. Our link is there in case if you want to join me. Our link is there because we have run for 2 hours talking. So if you want to join, you join me and put your voice what we're doing. Or if you have my phone number, you can equally call. Number +9733 6051 337. That is the number you can call. Once you call the number, then you will talk to us or you join the link if you wish to do so. But people are not joining because I don't know why they are not joining.
The groups that did not believe in the Declaration of Independence by Swapo, Southwest Africa People's Organization, were generally those who feared SWAPO's socialist leanings, its close ties to the Soviet Union, or its perceived dominance by the Ovambo ethnic group. While many of these groups wanted independence from South Africa, they did not believe Swapo was the rightful or safe choice to lead the new nation. 1. The Democratic Turnhale Alliance, DTA. The DTA was the most powerful internal rival to Swapo. They were a multi-ethnic coalition that believed SWAPO's approach was too radical. Why they didn't believe in Swapo? They argued that Swapo would create a one-party state and seize private property. Their alternative, they participated in internal elections organized by South Africa in 1978. Swapo boycotted these elections, calling them a sham. The DTA tried to form an interim government to show they could lead without Swapo, but this government was never recognized by the United Nations.
I hope you're hearing
2.
it.
The Southwest African
That
Territorial
is why
Force,
I don't fancy having my
SWATF.
time
This was a local
be
military
preaching
force
about-
created by the South African
about
administration.
these groups.
It-
I refuse to give because I have found out that after all their shenanigans, I have checked about 10 or 15 countries make declaration that they have betrayers, that the betrayer did not recognition. That once you have this document in your hand, you are good to go. Once you have the declaration document in your hand, you are good to go. That is what I found out by myself. That is why I totally, strongly believe that that is a waste time of talking about these people. No matter what you say, those who want to believe in them will believe in them. Those who believe in National will follow them up. That is why I will not waste my time about them. Because the truth is here and the history is repeating. The truth is here, the history is repeating. Because our people are very busy, so after playing the voice, I will shut the program down. I will speak for maximum 2 hours, and so my voices need to rest for tomorrow.
It was made up of Namibian citizens from various ethnic backgrounds, Herero, Kavango, Caprivian, and others. The conflict. These soldiers were effectively fighting a civil war against SWAPO's armed wing, plan. Their stance, many in the SWATF...
You can see today some gullible fighting against Biafran military. You can see today it's happening. Yeah, good evening, ma. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Good evening. One and walking.
Yes, so Wanda, you are welcome. Thank you so much.
Bafra TV.
Yeah, Adobe, Mommy Ngozi, you are welcome. Thank you so much.
Oh, Mazi, no.
Thank you so much.
Nam. Omo Bafra, na studio. Whatever happens na humble, but we're fully on the line.
Yes.
I want them come branch, yeah.
Nimero ọfụma.
Thank you so much. I want to ask Nna, ihe anyị na-akụzi eso in time. Amagha m bete afọ m dị obere ihe na-ekwu maka this money ka m dị abacha Namibia otu ndị Namibia si enweta their own.
Yes.
It's true. I thank you so much. I give
Your voice is, please, your voice is down. Can you raise your voice? We can't hear you. We can't hear you. We are not hearing you, Mommy Ngozi. Can you hear me? We can't hear you. We can't hear you, Mommy Ngozi. We can't hear you. No, your voice is very down. Yes, now it's coming out.
Okay, chere ka nwoke earphone tonight.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, now very nice now. Very good.
Nwanne m. Biko na gbaghara m na-ejibo m earphone na ntị.
No, good.
So, Bafra TV nwanne mmadụ ekene m gị nke ukwuu. Ebe Chukwu ka bịa ma duzie gị dị ọrụ. Nna dị na-enwe eko. Ọ na-enwe double data. Mom no my side goes.
Okay, see, man, okay, let me up this one. Let me see. Okay, go on. Let me hear. Go on.
Okay. Odigoma.
For me, it's coming out loud and clear here, depending on your side.
Okay. On my side because
Yes, that's from your side. Yes, that's from your side. I can hear it now. But it is clear because Biafran said out that yes, I can hear her.
Okay.
I can hear you very well. Yes.
My brother really Biafra TV. Oh. Ezigbo nwanne. Ekele m Chukwu kabịa because na anọ m na your platform all the time. Anọ m aga akwụkwọ na. Mụnwa graduate ya na primary school. Graduate ya na secondary. All the uni ka ị nọ now. Mgbe ị ga-aga Biafra land, anyị ga-ego graduation Ghana and Okpu. Eziokwu because they are giving us a lecture. And this lecture ile mụnwa bụ onye enwe m opportunity na-alụ ebe ndị lawyers na ana m ajụ ha ajụjụ. And ịkụzi like this mụnwa right na-ajụ ha and na-akọwalị m abụghị ihe na-akụzi na achọ ka m confirm n'ebe ọzọ n'ihe ị na-akụzi na eziokwu. And ndị ọtụtụ anya na-ajụ ha ajụjụ. And m ga-ejikwa ma ihe program because enwetụfọ na mama na
the phone is now watch on a echo. Because for here I have up all my gadgets, both my everything. The thing name echo and it's not sounding clear to the ears of our Biafran people. Yes. So, just as you unmute your mic, you muted it. Let us see if it's okay. There is a place you are watching from. I think that place is the one making the echo. That is why it's not sounding clear. So come on, let's see if it is. Yeah.
watching.
Okay, go on. I don't know where the echo is coming from.
Ngwachere kam log out kamananga
clear. Okay. Yeah, before she comes in again, it is very, very imperative that we on our own understand what we are doing. Once we understand what we are doing and why we have to do it, it's better for us. Because the enemies has planned all their way, think all they think they can do. But what happens? The movement that we are into is something that has a role. And on the role of it, people has played the role in the past. People has played this role. People has gone through this movement that we are into right now. So that's why I said, if we are thinking that Biafra, we are looking at the internal affair of fake fallback bridge, internal affair of all these groups can stop it. That's why I told you, it can never stop it. Unmute your mic.
Okay.
Okay.
The same thing,
go on.
Kwanka.
Go on. Just go on. At least I can. It's coming out.
Okay. My Biafran. So after, because this place I am now, and hearing this lecture, and I'm jotting some certain things down because I have opportunity of working with all those lawyers and some students, and I ask questions. So the question I'm asking them is what I learned in our brother platform and what he's saying. So I want to know whether it's the right thing is teaching to us. And all those people, oh my God, this thing disturbing me, man. Giving me. I don't like this thing. Anyway, can just
manage it like that.
So those lawyers, some of them don't know that I'm listening to Chino, So and when they are giving me answers, and answer they are giving to me is according to what our brother is teaching. That's why you see me. The thing is hurting me and paining me that all those people that doubting and just what and what they think and what their thoughts is not what the law says. My brother, continue teaching. We are already giving us the right and the diluted what international says. Nwanne nwoke gaa n'ihu.
Thank you.
But onye ọbụla ihe na-ewe ndị ọbụla ndị a niile na-eso na a na-eso all those people. Let them come and challenge you. It's what I'm telling them. Let Obiose come and ask you a question. Let Ugo come and ask you a question. Let all those people come and ask you a question. So that it will bring this law. Not that they will be talking nonsense. And some people will be clapping for them. Huh? Those people that call themselves doctors. So, Chomo come on the word. So this thing that you are teaching and you are researching, they are not everything, but I want to stop us, but that can never stop us. That can never. We have gone far. My brother, Chino, Nam, Chukwu Kikabia Magano.
This thing you are doing, you know I can say I will never say you don't know. You know the benefits. And the benefit, me Ngozi, I'm receiving that benefit because na in a mepe mugoro. O nke ya agakwa we gakwa little research ma. So ihe a bụ ihe ndị a zobechala anyị. Anyị n'ime ahụ. Beta sim Chukwu okike abịa ma ya gọzie gị. Ya gọzie Asatina go my barrister my barrister Asatina afọm ya na comment section tamo ebe ọ bụ na ị na-Asatina nne m ekele gị asị Chukwu okike abịa ma ya gọzie gị easy way nwanne mmadụ Chukwu okike abịa ma gọzie gị. Ana m ekele mmadụ niile na-akwadobe njem anyị ndị a na-abịa na platform na-ege ntị na-aga naanị the lecture Chukwu okike abịa ma gọzie anyị. Biko Chino abịa m imebiri gị your program but ana m eji opportunity na-asụ ụmụ nwanne m ndị nọ na UK ọkwa ụnụ fụ na Tinubu abịa na-aga sign na deportation. Anụ m asị ndị niile nọ na UK ụmụ Biafra jienu ga-ewele ID kaadị unu. Ụmụ Biafra ndị UK ga-ebule ọkwa onye nwa bụ n'onwe ya. Because what our brother is literally teaching us is among these ID cards. Go apply your ID. The ID will save you. ID card save me na this UK. ID card, European ID card, not passport. I'm a living witness. Because the ID is so authentic that those immigration abia nanya congratulations that yes, I have the right to live in UK. I don't have the right to live in UK that I become my passport applicable because of the authentic ID card. You get your United States of Biafra ID card. Chino, Nam, Oya Barigi Sike. I'm not one against.
Thank you, Adreganama. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, when we are bringing all these histories, we have many to give. It's only the time we have. But little time we have, we give you all these messages for you to know that there is no other government you have. There is no other way. The only one way you have, if you pay attention, listen without envy, jealousness, emotion, who you like, who you don't like, who you hate, who you think is the right person within your own understanding. If you can remove it and pay deeply attention to the history of Namibia, you will find out that there is no other way. It's only one way. Remember that maximum 4 group was fighting against one. The one that made declaration, 4 group is fighting against them, against this one body. Like we, using Biafra Government in Exile, BRGIE, to repeat the history of what Namibia did in 1960. In 2024, November 29 is when we gathered in Helsinki, Finland. The same way the Namibian people gathered somewhere in exile in Africa and make their declaration and said, we are SWAPO as an organization. From today, we are making the declaration of we are making the declaration of Republic of Namibia as our own country. And after this declaration, we have transitioned into a country no longer SWAPO, is what we have repeated. So we just repeated the history that has been there before us. No other history. And in the history of about so far so good, about 15 countries I have been researching about their declaration, if after declaration, the group that merged, that later disagree with the declaration, later won, or later that UN handed over to them, out of the 15 I have seen so far, none of them was an opposition that after the declaration that merged as a group of people trying to claim their power, the UN never organized them. Is that authentic one that make that first declaration is the one that UN always organize because of the legal document of the authenticity of the declaration document. None of them has lose their case. And when it comes to recognition, they are the one that the world give recognition. So I urge you to come back. I urge you to come back. The four group that never believe that the declaration by the SWAPO is for them. The group that did not believe in the declaration of independence by SWAPO. This group are, in abbreviation, DTA is one of them. That is number one. And this DTA was seeing himself, this group was seeing themselves as they are the real, like what Oge Nkere representing today in Washington, D.C., claiming he is fighting for Biafra. Why being sponsored by the Nigerian government, like what South Africa did? There was another group again, the second one, in abbreviation, SWATF. This is a place where South Africa formed a military regime. And they fought against they are calling the military of the Namibia, the authentic one. They opened their mouth and be calling them terror. All kinds of names that they called them in the past. Exactly what we are passing through today. That is why you don't need to panic. What of the number 3 group? The number 3 group was also Trbldp. This is another 3. That's merged. What of the last one? The ACN, Action Christian National, is their name. All these groups fought for the world. One of them, this particular ACN, the last one among them, took the declaration document of with the country, the Republic of Namibia, to court and claim, but they did not win. The answer is no. Nor in the history, no group has ever win against a group that make declaration remain effective and correct. That's why I told you, so far so good. I've walked up to 15 countries' history of their declaration. The declaration has never failed. And those who made that declaration, who stand on it, and with document of that declaration was the one that you always recognized. So let them go and have their shenanigans. As I'm about to end the program, please, I am going to play all the audios back. After that, I will close the program. Maybe you may join us in 4 hours. If you have the strength to come back, we will come back again today.
Viewed Swapo as terrorists or foreign-backed insurgents rather than a legitimate government in waiting.
Okay,
Because they were armed and trained by South Africa, they were deeply mistrusted by Swapo supporters. 3. The Rehoboth Basters, Liberated Democratic Party. The Baster community in the Rehoboth region had enjoyed a high degree of autonomy, self-rule, since the 1800s. Their stance, under their leader, Hans Diergaard, they actually made their own declaration of independence for the Republic of Rehoboth in 1989, just before Namibia's national independence. Why they resisted?
What happened here is this. Remember that they have met the SWAPO has made declaration of what? Republic of Namibia. And these people, they went ahead to make another name declaration. You see? But the question is, did they win? Listen.
Why they resisted. They did not believe a centralized Swapo government would respect their traditional land rights or their unique cultural status. They even took the new Namibian government to court to try to keep their autonomy, though they eventually lost. 4. Action Christian National, ACN. This was a party primarily representing the white conservative population. Their stance: they were the most vocal, anti-declaration group in terms of resisting majority rule. They believed that a Swapo victory would lead to the total collapse of the economy and the end of their way of life. They advocated for strict ethnic protections and were the last to accept the 1990 transition. How the conflict ended. Despite these deep divisions, several factors forced these groups to eventually accept the declaration. UN Resolution 435. This international legal framework forced all parties to participate in one single, supervised election in 1989. The Constitution. To win over the groups that didn't believe in them, Swapo agreed to a multi-party democracy and a Bill of Rights that protected private property. This moved Namibia away from the socialist model many feared. Would you like to look at the specific legal arguments these groups used at the United Nations to challenge SWAPO's status?
Tomorrow, we are going to listen to the when they took the like what Ogenkere did, taking USB to after our declaration, taking us to court. Now what happened here? This happened in Namibia. We went to court. They see challenge. So we're going to listen to what they're claiming. All of them, these 4 groups. So I want you to know there is no amount of this internal group that are in this movement can take over from the USB we are declared. It can never happen. It can never happen. So my people, we are going to end the program here for today. Maybe we'll come back again. Then by that time, we all will be here together. So my people, there is no 2 ways about what we are doing. We have only one government that has declared the independent of United States of what? Biafra. Do not panic. You see all this thing that you are seeing? One thing end it. Recognition. And they have made it open for you to understand that the world only recognized a peaceful declaration. Minus the peaceful declaration, the world is no longer recognizing any group anymore. That is why I'm urging you, that's why I'm telling you that the only option we have is to stand on the USB we are declared as the last option in all that we are passing through today. So please do not panic. Do not move an inch because of all this inconsequential. They have nothing to offer. The only they have to offer is what? They only want to take our time. They only want to delay the movement. But I am telling you that through all this research, if none of these groups stop Namibia on their movement, I want you to know that nobody will stop us at this stage. It's only we to stop. It's only USB to stop USB. No other group will ever can even come close. Talk less of trying to stop us in this movement. Be here and remain with USB we are declared. The road is clear. There is no other road for us to achieve Biafra as a country. So, from me, I will end the program for today until we come back again. If Kabiyama give us the power, the strength to come back, we will come back to continue to preach, to let our people to understand why we must support USB we are declared as only authentic government we have. There is no other one. Said what? There is no other government, and there is no one that can challenge USB. Remember the history of Namibia and all that transpired. So from me, from here, I want to say thank you for standing and being here up to this hour. We will see when Chukwuka asks us to come back again, we have a lot to give, but time is what we don't have. So I want to thank you. Thank you so much for being here. May Elohim protect you, bless you, and guide you.